Every man and woman walking this earth is a product of thought. Your outer world is nothing but a reflection of your inner command. Hebrew, shape your mind, and the world will shape itself around you. Ignore this truth, and you'll drift like dust in the wind, powerless, reactive, and lost. Everything begins with a single thought. Hebrew, a thought of victory builds momentum. Hebrew, a thought of fear breeds paralysis. Your task is not to control the world. It's to control the thought that creates the world you see. Understand this. The mind is the original workshop of all achievement. Before every invention, before every fortune, before every empire, there was thought. Not ordinary thought, but focused, burning, relentless concentration on a single purpose. The weak scatter their thoughts like leaves in a storm. The strong forge them into weapons. Hebrew, you are not here to live by reaction. You are here to command. Hebrew, command your emotions, command your focus, command your energy. Hebrew, because until you do, you will are. Remain a slave to every distraction that calls your name. Hebrew, when you shape your mind toward purpose, mediocrity dies. Hebrew, excuses vanish. Fear loses its voice. You begin to walk differently. Not with arrogance, but with absolute conviction that you are the master of your direction. But let this truth burn deep. Belief is the foundation of creation. Ibrahim, no plan, no effort, no strategy survives without it. The moment you doubt, your power dissolves. Abruri, the moment you believe, the impossible bends before you. Faith, real faith, is self-command in motion. Hebrew, guard your mind as you would guard your most valuable treasure. Do not let negative influence enter, even for a moment. Every thought you allow to live in your mind grows roots. Feed your mind strength, courage, victory, and your life will radiate with those same qualities. You are not defined by your past, your circumstances, or your environment. You are defined by the thoughts you choose and the actions you demand from yourself. Hebrew. The world does know. T reward hesitation. It rewards clarity. It rewards the man or woman who knows where they are going and refuses to quit until they arrive. So shape your mind with discipline. Hebrew, sharpen it with daily purpose. Fuel it with vision so vivid that failure cannot survive in its presence. Hebrew, let your focus be a fortress. Let your faith be fire. Every morning, command your mind, Hebrew greatness. I will think greatness, I will act with power, I will live with purpose. Repeat it until your mind obeys and your life begins to transform. Because here is the law, Hebrew, the one who shapes his mind, shines his life. And when your inner world burns with clarity and conviction, no force on this earth can keep you from what you are meant to become. Hebrew control begins within. Master your thoughts, master your destiny. Every man who conquered the world first conquered himself. Every legend, every leader, every visionary began their journey with one simple realization, that power doesn't come from luck, money, or position. It comes as from mastery of the mind. The battlefield of life is not fought in the streets, it's fought in your head. Your thoughts are the architects of your fate. The quality of your thinking determines the quality of your living. If your mind is chaotic, your life will mirror that chaos. If your mind is disciplined, your life will follow with order, progress, and control. You can't command your future until you command your focus. You can't lead others until you lead yourself. You can't win in the world if you lose in your mind every day. The man who controls his emotions, who governs his reactions, who keeps his thoughts steady amid chaos, that man is unstoppable. He becomes the calm in the storm, the force no circumstance can bend. Every weakness you feel, every excuse you make, every distraction you chase is born from one source, a mind left untrained. Most people let their minds run wild, allowing fear, doubt, and negativity to drive them. They wake up reacting, not creating. They consume, not command. They are prisoners in a mental cell built by their own thoughts. But the few, the rare few, wake up with intent. They choose their thoughts like a warrior chooses his weapons. They direct their minds toward strength, clarity, and victory. And that is why they rise while others stay trapped. Your destiny is written by the thoughts you repeat. You are constantly broadcasting a signal into the universe, and it responds to the frequency you send. Think weakness, and you attract limitation. Think power, and you attract opportunity. This isn't fantasy, it's law. Your outer world is a projection of your inner dialogue. Every failure begins as a thought of defeat. Every victory begins as a thought of belief. Control begins the moment you stop living by emotion and start living by principle. When you decide that no feeling, no person, no setback will dictate your direction, you gain freedom. Discipline is not restriction, it's liberation. When your mind obeys your life expands. You stop wasting energy on what doesn't matter. You stop negotiating with laziness. You stop waiting for motivation and start commanding momentum. We understand this truth deeply. Success is never an accident. It's a series of controlled thoughts executed with precision. The man who wins does not rely on chance. He relies on self-mastery. When you can control your focus, you can create anything. When you control your self-talk, you can overcome anything. The power is not out there. It's within you, waiting to be directed. The weak blame their circumstances. The strong shape them. The weak say, I can't. The strong say, I will. The weak let their mind dictate their limits. The strong dictate their mind. The difference between both is not talent or opportunity. It's control. One drifts, the other commands. One reacts to life, the other creates life. If your thoughts are scattered, your progress will always be unstable. If your thoughts are focused, the world can stop you. Everything you see, every invention, empire, revolution, began in the silence of someone's mind. Before the light bulb, there was a thought. Before the airplane, there was a thought. Before victory, there was always a thought that refused to die. Your greatest weapon is your ability to direct your inner world. The moment you claim control over your thoughts, you claim control over your destiny. When your mind is fixed on purpose, failure becomes fuel, pain becomes instruction, and struggle becomes strength. Life no longer happens to you, it happens for you. So guard your mind. Protect it from negativity like you would protect a child from danger. Don't allow doubt to live rent-free in your head. Don't entertain the whispers of fear. Every time you catch a negative thought, crush it with truth. Replace weakness with courage. Replace hesitation with decision. Replace confusion with clarity. When you master your thoughts, you no longer wait for the right time. You create You stop fearing failure. You use it. You stop chasing approval. You lead yourself. That is the essence of control. That is how destiny bends to your will. Every single day, command your inner dialogue. I am in control of my thoughts. My thoughts build my world. I choose strength, focus, and victory. Repeat it until your mind obeys. Repeat it until your habits align. Repeat it until your life transforms. Remember, your mind is not a cage, it's a forge. You can build chains in it, or you can build wings. You can create excuses, or you can create power. You can destroy your future, or you can design it. Control begins within. Master your thoughts and you master your destiny. Because once your mind bows to your will, nothing in the world can stand in your way. Every result in life is the mirror of your mental state. Look around you. Your life right now is not random. It is not act of luck, fate, or coincidence. It is a mirror reflecting the image of your dominant thoughts, beliefs, and expectations. Every success you've achieved and every struggle you've faced began first in the unseen world of your mind. Your results are not accidents, they are reflections. Change the cause and the effect must follow. If your results are weak, your thinking has been weak. If your progress is slow, your focus has been scattered. If your victories are small, your vision has been limited. Nothing in your external world changes until something shifts in your internal world. The mind is the root, life is the fruit. The quality of your inner conversation determines the quality of your outer creation. A man filled with doubt cannot produce success. A woman surrounded by fear cannot manifest peace. The soil of the mind must be rich, disciplined, and guarded, or it will grow weeds instead of wealth, excuses instead of excellence. You cannot plant seeds of negativity and expect to harvest strength. You cannot think small and live large. You cannot entertain failure in your end and expect victory in your life. Understand this truth deeply. Results never lie. They reveal exactly what you believe about yourself and your possibilities. If you constantly think of obstacles, you'll find more of them. If you constantly think of solutions, you'll create them. The world responds to the mental picture you hold most persistently. The invisible creates the visible. The inside commands the outside. Your mental state is the control center of everything you do. It governs your confidence, your decisions, your habits, your resilience. If your inner dialogue is weak, your actions will follow that weakness. If your inner dialogue is powerful, your actions will carry power. Every time you tell yourself, "I can't," you give permission for limitation to exist. Every time you declare, "I will," you give birth to motion. Winners are not lucky, they are focused. Their results are not random. They've already won in the silence of their minds. They have trained themselves to think abundance when others think scarcity, to think courage when others think fear, to think control when others think chaos. And because of that, life reflects their strength back to them in the form of success, opportunity, and growth. You are the artist of your reality, and your thoughts are the brush. Every image you hold, every emotion you repeat, every belief you accept becomes the landscape of your future. That's why the weak blame conditions, but the wise correct their state of mind. Change the mirror and the reflection changes. There is no such thing as an unlucky person. There are only people who have not yet mastered their inner world. There is no such thing as a hopeless situation. There are only minds that have surrendered before they've fought. Life does not respond to fear. It responds to focus. If you want better results, stop attacking symptoms, attack the source, don't comple. Ain't about what you see, reprogram what you think. The outer struggle is only a reflection of the inner war you haven't won yet. When you fix your focus, when you direct your mental energy with precision, life begins to bend to your will. The secret lies in awareness. Watch your thoughts. Observe the pattern of your inner talk. Are you speaking from faith or from fear? From power or from weakness? Because the voice you feed becomes the life you live. Your mind is not your enemy, but if you neglect it, it will turn against you. Train it daily, challenge it, command it. Feed your mind only what strengthens it. Great ideas, uplifting words, bold visions. Refuse to dwell on limitation. Refuse to repeat failure. Refuse to accept defeat as destiny. Because the moment you hold an image of victory long enough, your life begins to mirror that victory back to you. You can't fake mental strength. Your results will always expose the truth. If you want to rise higher, raise your thoughts higher. If you want more peace, cultivate more gratitude. If you want power, build belief. Every result you desire already exists as a possibility, but it's your mental frequency that determines whether you tune into it or not. Stop fighting the outside world and start shaping the inside one. The external only follows the internal. When you walk with confidence, the world bends to your direction. When you think with clarity, opportunities appear that others cannot see. When you live with conviction, resistance loses its grip. Your thoughts are not just ideas. They are commands to reality. The universe does not respond to words. It responds to energy, emotion, certainty. When your mental state burns with belief, the world must mirror that belief in form. That is law, unbreakable and eternal. So look into the mirror of your life. If you don't like what you see, don't break the mirror. Change the reflection, renew your thoughts, refine your beliefs, reclaim your mind. Because once you master why, our inner state, your outer results have no choice but to rise to match it. Every result in life is the mirror of your mental state. The moment you command your thoughts, you command your fate. Shape your mind, and the world will shape itself to your vision. The reflection will change because you have changed. And when the mind transforms, destiny has no option but to obey. Brewer, the mind is a workshop. What you build there, you live out here. Every creation begins in silence, in the invisible space of your thoughts. Before any empire was built, before any masterpiece was painted, before any dream became real, it was first constructed within the workshop of the mind. Your mind is not just a tool, it is the factory of your future. Every idea you feed it, every belief you repeat, every image you hold becomes a brick in the structure of your destiny. You are the builder, you are the architect, you are the engineer of everything that appears in your world. The moment you understand this, your excuses die and your power returns. Life is not happening to you, it is being created by you, built piece by piece from the blueprints you design in your mind. Most people live as careless builders. They fill their workshop with worry, doubt, fear, and hesitation. Then wonder why their lives feel unstable. They hammer together weakness, then curse the structure for not standing strong. But the wise guard the space of the mind like sacred ground. They understand that every thought is a seed, every image a plan, every belief a tool. And with those tools, they construct their reality with intention and purpose. Brewer. The mind is constantly building. It never stops. Even when you are unaware, it is shaping the architecture of your life. So the question is not whether you are building, but what you are building. Are you building power or weakness? Are you constructing progress or excuses? Every day your thoughts are laying down the foundation for what tomorrow will look like. If you build fear, you will live in limitation. If you build faith, you will live in expansion. If you build procrastination, you will live in stagnation. But if you build purpose, if you build clarity, belief, and discipline, your life will rise like a fortress of strength that no storm can destroy. Every tool you need to create greatness already exists within your mind. Imagination is your blueprint. Belief is your foundation. Discipline is your hammer. Focus is your chisel. Every day you use them, you shape your destiny with precision. And just like any craftsman, the more you practice, the more skillful you become. Mastery is built through repetition, not by chance, not by luck, but by deliberate mental construction. Understand this truth. The mind builds before the body acts. Your results in the physical world are only the finishing touches of what was first designed mentally. You can't outperform the limits of your own imagination. You can't live beyond what you've built inside. That's why those who visualize success, who believe in victory long before it arrives, are always the ones who eventually manifest it. They built it within, brick by brick, until the world had no choice but to mirror it back. Brewer, the weak mind waits for proof. The strong mind creates proof. The weak mind reacts. The strong mind constructs. Every builder knows nothing is built overnight. You must work daily in that inner workshop, molding your thoughts with precision, shaping your vision with persistence. Because whatever you build there will one day stand around you, visible, undeniable, unshakable. Stop leaving your mental workshop open to noise. Every complaint, every negative influence, every word of doubt that enters becomes a crack in your foundation. Protect it, guard it, filter it. What you allow in will eventually live out. Surround your mind with strength. Feed it words of power, images of success, thoughts of resilience. The raw materials of greatness are already inside you, you Jew. Need to assemble them. Abraham. You don't need permission to build. You don't need ideal conditions. You just need focus. The greatest structures in history were built through vision long before resources arrived. The mind creates the plan, and life delivers the material. When your inner conviction becomes stronger than external resistance, creation begins. Your future is not hidden, it's under construction. Every time you visualize a goal, every time you speak belief into existence, every time you take action aligned with your vision, another wall goes up, another room takes shape, another piece of your destiny stands tall. You are building your life right now, through every thought you repeat, through every image you hold, through every emotion you feed. Hebrew. So what does your mental workshop look like? Is it cluttered with fear, self-doubt, and unfinished dreams? Or is it clean, focused, filled with plans of victory, courage, and relentless discipline? Because your mind can either be your peak, rison, or your power plant. It can drain your energy or generate it. It can build walls or bridges. You decide what gets built. Hebrew. Every successful person you admire has one thing in common. They built it twice. First in the mind and in reality. The unseen always precedes the seen. The spiritual always precedes the physical. The inner design always determines the outer result. Hebrew. So take command of your mental tools. Wake up every day and step into your workshop with purpose. See the life you want to build. Feel it. Believe it. Work on it. When doubt creeps in, hammer it down with truth. When fear whispers, drown it out with action. When distraction tempts you, sharpen your focus. Your mind is not a storage space. It's a creation space. Don't waste it on the past. Don't fill it with noise. Use it as it was meant to be used, as a workshop of greatness. Build vision. Build faith. Build resilience. Build a future that reflects the highest version of who you are. Because in the end, what you build in your mind becomes the world you live in. Hebrew, the mind is the workshop, and your life is its masterpiece. Construct with discipline, create with power, and you'll walk through a reality designed by your own hands. Belief is the first spark of creation. Doubt destroys it before birth. Before anything great is ever built, before any dream takes form, there is a single force that ignites it all: belief. Belief is the fire that awakens vision, the unseen power that calls things into existence. It's the invisible foundation beneath every achievement humanity has ever known. Without belief, no idea can live. Without belief, no plan can move. Without belief, no destiny can unfold. It is the first spark of creation, and the absence of it is death before life even begins. Every success story begins with one person who dared to believe when no one else did. When the world said impossible, their belief whispered, try again. When failure struck, belief said, rise. Belief transforms thoughts into motion, motion into habit, and habit into results. But doubt kills silently. It doesn't attack loudly. It seeps in slowly, convincing you that hesitation is wisdom, that safety is strength. It poisons the root of creation before the seed can even grow. Hebrew, belief and doubt cannot coexist. One will dominate the other. When belief rules, the impossible becomes achievable. When doubt rules, even the simple becomes impossible. Every time you hesitate, every time you second-guess your own potential, you are extinguishing the spark that could have changed everything. The greatest tragedy is not failure, it's potential murdered by disbelief. Hebrew free belief is not wishful thinking. Pandit. Hebrew, the universe responds to conviction. Life bends to the will of those who believe. Every law of success, every path to mastery begins with a mind that refuses to bow to limitation. The man who believes in his vision commands resources, energy, and people to align with him. The man who doubts himself destroys opportunity before it ever reaches his hands. History is written by believers, not those who merely hoped, but those who knew. They saw victory long before it appeared. They acted as if the outcome was already theirs. They built with certainty when others waited for proof. That's the secret. Belief is the evidence before the evidence. It's the force that turns invisible dreams into visible results. Doubt is the enemy of creation. It makes you question your worth, your timing, your ability. It disguises itself as logic, but it's fear in costume. It convinces you to wait until it's the right time, to gather enough proof, to play it safe. And while you wait, your dream dies a slow, quiet death. Nothing kills potential faster than hesitation disguised as reason. Every invention, every empire, every revolution began with someone who refused to doubt their own vision. The Wright brothers believed they could fly when men mocked them. Edison believed light could be captured when failure mocked him 1,000 times. Every great creator believed in the unseen, because belief gives birth to creation and doubt aborts it before life begins. Understand this: the moment you believe, your mind shifts from limitation to creation. Your energy changes, your focus sharpens. You begin to attract the tools, people, and opportunities that match your conviction. The world moves for those who move with certainty. But when doubt rules, you move like a ghost, half present, half committed, invisible to success. Hebrew belief is the spark. Action is the fuel. Persistence is the flame. And results are the fire that lights up the world. But without that first spark, belief, there. E is nothing to ignite. That is why you must protect your belief like your life depends on it, because it does. Your belief determines your future. Your doubt determines your failure. Abercrombie. Feed your belief daily. Strengthen it through repetition, vision, and action. See yourself already succeeding. Speak it until your mind accepts it as truth. Train your thoughts to reject doubt the instant it appears. Don't wait to feel confident. Act as though belief is already built into your DNA, because the mind obeys what it's trained to expect. Rub. Every time you believe in yourself, you send a command to reality. You declare, "This is who I am. This is what I will create." And life responds. That's the law of belief. It does not negotiate. It only mirrors conviction. Doubt may whisper, but belief roars. And once belief roars loudly enough, doubt loses its voice forever. When you wake up, remind yourself, belief is the beginning of everything. It's the seed that grows into destiny. It's the unseen cow. See behind every visible success. Doubt is the destroyer. It kills silently but completely. Don't give it a single inch of your mind. Hebrew, you can lose money, you can lose friends, you can lose strength, but never lose belief. Because as long as belief burns, you can rebuild, reimagine, and rise again. Every failure can be turned into a foundation, every setback into fuel. But without belief, even victory will slip through your fingers. Hebrew, so make belief your weapon. Make it your armor. Build it, feed it, defend it. When fear whispers you can't, belief answers, "Watch me." When doubt says, "Not now," belief replies, "Now or never." When obstacles rise, belief walks through them as if they were shadows. Be brui, because belief is creation in motion. It is life's original power source. Everything that exists, every success, every discovery, every dream come true, started as belief in someone's mind. Belief is the first spark of creation. Doubt destroys it before birth. Guard that spark. Feed it daily. Let it burn so brightly that no shadow of doubt can ever survive in its light. For the one who believes, creation is not a question, it is inevitable. Purpose gives power. Without it, energy scatters. A mind without purpose is like a ship without a rudder. It moves, but nowhere meaningful. It drifts with the tides of circumstance, controlled by the winds of distraction. But a mind anchored in purpose cuts through chaos with precision. Purpose gives direction to your strength, focus to your actions, and meaning to your struggle. Without it, all effort becomes motion without progress. Energy wasted, potential diffused. Purpose is not a luxury. It is the engine of all achievement. It is the single force that converts average effort into extraordinary results. When you know why you're doing something, every step gains power. Every setback becomes fuel. Every challenge becomes instruction. Purpose transforms confusion into clarity and weakness into willpower. It gives reason to the fight. And reason multiplies strength. Look at those who achieve greatness. They are not the most talented nor the most fortunate. They are the most directed. Their energy does not scatter between comfort and desire. It flows entirely toward a singular mission. They know what they want, and they refuse to waste even 1 ounce of effort on what doesn't serve that vision. Their mind operates like a laser, cutting through obstacles because it's guided by purpose. Without purpose, people live reactively, waking up each day responding to problems instead of pursuing progress. They chase comfort, distractions, approval, and short-term pleasure. And when their energy is gone, they wonder why nothing meaningful was built. Energy without purpose is like fire without control. It burns, but it destroys instead of creating. When you find your purpose, you stop asking for motivation. You stop needing permission. You stop negotiating with laziness. Purpose is self-sustaining power. It wakes you early, it keeps you up late, and it keeps you moving long after others have quit. Purpose gives you something to serve that's greater than your excuses. We understand this. Purpose is not found, it's built. It's discovered through struggle, clarity, and decision. You don't stumble into it, you commit to it. You ask yourself, what do I stand for? What am I willing to endure for? What impact do I want to leave behind? When those answers burn clearly in your mind, distraction loses its grip. You no longer chase everything. You pursue the one thing that matters most. Purpose makes you dangerous to mediocrity. It gives you power that cannot be imitated. When you live with purpose, you move differently. Not for applause, but for alignment. You stop living for approval because your mission is bigger than other people's opinions. You stop wasting time explaining your path because your results will do the talking. Every human has energy, but only the purposeful know how to use it. The undire. Seated man spends his strength surviving. The purposeful man spends his strength building. The undirected man looks for entertainment. The purposeful man creates change. Both feel tired at night, but only one is fulfilled. Purpose is the bridge between desire and destiny. Everyone wants to succeed, but not everyone knows why. Without a why, your dreams collapse under pressure. The moment things get hard, you'll retreat. But when you are driven by purpose, pain becomes irrelevant. You'll keep pushing because purpose makes struggle sacred. It transforms suffering into strength and obstacles into opportunity. Energy without purpose is like light without focus. It fades into nothing. But when focused, light becomes a laser. That is what purpose does to the human spirit. It sharpens it, intensifies it, and makes it unstoppable. You can have all the knowledge, skill, and opportunity in the world, but without purpose, they will scatter. You'll start one thing, stop another, drift between dreams, and wonder why nothing sticks. Purpose is the glue that binds energy to direction. It is the compass that keeps you moving forward when emotion fluctuates. Purpose doesn't eliminate struggle. It gives it meaning. It tells you why you must keep going. It reminds you who you must become. It gives you the strength to endure what would otherwise break you. A man without purpose breaks under pressure. A man with purpose grows stronger from it. If your energy feels scattered, it's not because you're weak, it's because you lack focus. And focus comes from purpose. Find that purpose and you'll find discipline. You'll find passion. You'll find the power you thought you lost. Everything begins to align when you know what you're working for. So stop asking for more time, more energy, more motivation. You already have them. What you need is direction. You need a reason so strong it burns through every excuse. You need a mission that's louder than why. Our comfort zone. Purpose doesn't give you energy. It channels the energy you already have. Every day you live without purpose, your potential leaks away. But every day you live with purpose, your power multiplies. Because purpose creates focus, and focus turns ordinary effort into extraordinary results. Ask yourself, what do I want my life to stand for? Write it, declare it, build around it. Let that become the foundation of your decisions. The moment you define it, life starts aligning to it. Opportunities that once seemed random start finding you. People who share your vision start appearing. The universe responds to the clarity of a directed mind. Hebrew purpose gives power. Without it, energy scatters. Anchor your life to a vision that matters, and you'll never wander again. When purpose drives you, you don't chase, you attract. You don't force, you flow. You don't burn out, you burn bright. Hebrew-y. So focus your energy. Sharpen your aim. Live like every action is an investment toward a M. Ishan that will outlive you. Because the one who lives with purpose never runs out of power. And the one without it, no matter how gifted, eventually fades into nothingness. Success is not luck, it's disciplined mental direction. Hebrew luck is the excuse of the undisciplined. It's the story the lazy tell to justify why others rise while they stay stuck. The truth is simple: success is never an accident. It is not the random blessing of fate or the mysterious favor of fortune. Success is the direct result of a mind that is trained, focused, and disciplined. It is the harvest of controlled thought, deliberate action, and relentless direction. Every great achiever in history knew this truth. Luck is a myth. They created their outcomes through precision, through consistency, through the unbreakable law of mental control. The man who disciplines his thoughts commands his results. The one who doesn't becomes a victim of circumstance. Success doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those, decide where they're going and move with discipline until they get there. Your life moves in the direction of your dominant thoughts. The stronger your focus, the straighter your path. The weaker your focus, the more your energy scatters into chaos. Most people never achieve what they want because their mind is divided. One day they're determined, the next they're distracted. They change their goals as often as they change their moods. But the disciplined mind doesn't drift, it directs. It holds a single vision until that vision becomes reality. Iberqui discipline is the bridge between intention and execution. It is the weapon that transforms thought into progress. You can have dreams, you can have plans, but without discipline, they rot in the graveyard of potential. Success demands a mental edge, a sharpness that cuts through noise, emotion, and temptation. The disciplined mind wakes up with purpose, stays loyal to the plan, and finishes what it starts. Ibrahim luck will never replace that. Luck might give you a chance, but discipline ensures you keep it. The undisciplined man may stumble upon opportunity, but he'll lose it as fast as he found it because his mind has no control. The disciplined man, even when starting with nothing, will create opportunity out of thin air because his focus turns nothing into something. Hebrew success is not magic. It's mathematics. Small consistence multiplied by time, guided by clear mental direction. That's the formula. When you aim your energy in one direction long enough, momentum takes over. The universe bends to the force of unwavering focus. But when your attention is scattered, your power dissolves. You can't hit a target you refuse to aim at. Your results reveal your level of mental discipline. If your progress is inconsistent, it's not your ability, it's your focus. If you keep restarting, it's not your circumstances, it's your direction. If your motivation fades, it's not because the dream is too big, it's because your mind is too undisciplined to carry it. Discipline is not punishment, it's freedom. It frees you from chaos, confusion, and regret. The world rewards precision thinkers, those who act by principle, not by impulse. The undisciplined act on emotion, the disciplined act on decision. One reacts to feelings, the other follows standards. The undisciplined mind looks for comfort. The disciplined mind looks for control. And that single difference separates mediocrity from mastery. Understand this: every time you discipline your mind, you increase your power. Every time you let emotion dictate your choices, you lose ground. Discipline means training your thoughts to obey your purpose, not your mood. It means doing what must be done whether you feel like it or not. Success doesn't care about feelings. It rewards consistency. The man who directs his thoughts like a commander directing an army becomes unstoppable. He doesn't allow distraction to invade. He doesn't waste energy on gossip, fear, or excuses. His mind is fortified, his will is unshakable, and his habits are precise. That's the kind of mental direction that builds empires, changes lives, and breaks limitations. Most people spend their lives chasing motivation, waiting for the right moment, the right inspiration, the right feeling. But success doesn't wait. Success responds to discipline. You don't need a perfect plan, you need mental order. You need to tell your mind where to go every day and keep it there. Because when your thoughts move with direction, your life follows with power. Hey, Brewer, the disciplined mind treats focus as a duty. It doesn't wander into distraction, it rejects it. It doesn't chase every idea, it builds one until it's complete. Every great creator, every visionary, every champion had one thing in common. They directed their mental energy towards a specific result until the world had no choice but to yield. Stop calling it luck when you see someone winning. What you're really seeing is discipline made visible. You're seeing the invisible hours of focus, the sacrifices, the consistency, the mental order. They believed when no one did. They acted when no one was watching. They executed when others were still planning. That's not luck, that's disciplined direction. Your destiny is shaped by your daily direction. Every day you either train your mind or you let the world train it for you. If you don't give your thoughts a target, they'll hit anything, and usually it's nothing worth hitting. Discipline your thinking. Direct your energy. Decide what matters and eliminate what doesn't. Remember this, the undisciplined seek shortcuts. The disciplined build systems. The undisciplined look for motivation. The disciplined rely on structure. The undisciplined chase results. The disciplined create them. Success doesn't come to the loudest or the luckiest. It comes to the most consistent. Hey, Brewer, so stop waiting for luck. Luck is a shadow. It follows those who create movement. Direct your mind. Control your or focus. Discipline your habits. When your thoughts, energy, and actions move as one, you become unstoppable. Success is not luck, it's disciplined mental direction. It's the art of controlling your inner world so precisely that the outer world has no choice but to align. When you master your focus, you master your fate. And when your mind moves with discipline, success becomes not a question of if, but when. Feed your mind strength, not excuses. Excuses are poison to potential. They rot the roots of growth and cripple the power of belief. Every time you feed your mind an excuse, you weaken your will. Every time you justify failure, you train yourself to accept it. The mind is a garden. It will grow whatever you plant. Feed it strength, and it will produce victory. Feed it excuses, and it will harvest regret. The choice is yours. Every single day, will you nourish your power or your weakness? The truth is this. The world doesn't stop for your excuses. It doesn't care about your rias, ons, your hardships, or your comfort. Life responds only to strength. The stronger your mindset, the less permission you need to act. The weaker your mindset, the more permission you'll keep waiting for. Strength is built by truth. Excuses are built by fear. When you stop feeding fear, discipline takes its place. Excuses sound comforting in the moment, but deadly in the long run. They whisper lies like, you'll start tomorrow, you're too tired, you don't have what it takes. These lies don't protect you, they trap you. Every time you repeat them, you reinforce weakness, you hand your power to hesitation. But when you feed your mind words of strength, I can, I will, I must, you ignite a different kind of energy. You command your thoughts instead of obeying them. Success doesn't come from who's smarter or luckier. It comes from who refuses to make excuses. Excuses build walls. Strength breaks them. The more you explain why you can't, the less time you have to prove that you can. The mind you feed daily determines the life you live permanently. If you keep feeding excuses, you'll always find reasons to stop. If you feed strength, you'll always find ways to keep going. Every champion you've ever admired faced the same obstacles you do: fear, doubt, pain, fatigue. But they fed their minds differently. While others fed fear, they fed fire. They replaced complaint with commitment, hesitation with hustle, weakness with willpower. They trained their minds like warriors because that's what success demands. Even if we understand this, the mind doesn't stay empty. It's either filled with power or polluted with excuses. If you don't take control of what enters it, the world will fill it with limitation. Every negative influence you allow, lazy voices, toxic opinions, comfort culture, is an excuse disguised as advice. It tells you to slow down when you should speed up, to quit when you should push, to rest when you haven't earned it yet. You must become the guardian of your thoughts. Refuse entry to weakness. Protect your mental space like a fortress. When an excuse tries to enter, crush it with truth. Replace I can't with I will. Replace it's too hard with that's exactly why it's worth it. Replace maybe later with now. This is how you rewire your mind for dominance. Feeding your mind strength means training it daily, not occasionally, not when you feel motivated. Every day, remind yourself who you are and what you're capable of. Every day, speak to your mind with authority. Don't wait for the world to give you confidence. Build it from within. Your mind is always listening to you. Make sure it hears strength, not surrender. Hebrew excuses thrive in comfort. They love indecision, distraction, and delay. But strength is born in discipline. It grows in struggle and repetition, in the refusal to give in. When you feel tired, that's when your mind is testing you. When you feel doubt, that's when your growth begins. The weak stop when it's hard, the strong start when it's hard, because they know every challenge is an opportunity to feed strength. You cannot rise with a weak diet of thoughts. If you feed your body junk, it becomes sick. If you feed your mind excuses, it becomes soft. But when you feed it courage, focus, and belief, it becomes unstoppable. Mental nutrition is more powerful than physical strength because the body obeys the mind. When the mind says go, the body finds a way. When the mind says quit, the body collapses. Every word you tell yourself becomes a seed. I can't grows into hesitation. It's too late grows into regret. But I'm not done yet grows into mastery. Your words are food. Feed them wisely. When your inner dialogue becomes one of strength, your outer results begin to shift. You attract challenges instead of fearing them. You move with purpose instead of doubt. You see obstacles as opportunities, not roadblocks. Ibrori, the difference between the average and the elite is mental diet. The average ND feeds on excuses. I don't have time. I don't have support. I don't know how. The elite mind feeds on strength. I'll make time. I'll figure it out. I'll find a way. One feeds comfort, the other feeds conquest. Stop romanticizing your excuses. They are not your friends. They are thieves of potential, robbers of purpose, silent killers of greatness. Every time you say, I can't, you hand over another piece of your power. Take it back. Replace every excuse with a solution. Replace every complaint with gratitude. Replace every limitation with action. Feeding your mind strength is a choice, not a talent. It doesn't require luck, it requires discipline. It means choosing empowerment over pity, consistency over chaos, progress over perfection. You might not control everything in your life, but you always control what you feed your mind. And here's the truth. When your mind grows strong, your world transforms. The same problems that once broke you become fuel for your rise. The same doubts that once stopped you become proof of your endurance, because strength doesn't remove struggle, it outgrows it. So feed your mind with the thoughts that serve your destiny, not your comfort. Abrashadid courage. Feed it persistence. Truth. Abrari, starve your excuses until they die of neglect, because in the end, the mind that feeds on strength becomes unstoppable. Abraki, and the mind that feeds on excuses becomes invisible. Feed your mind strength, not excuses. Abrake, and watch your life rise with the same power you've been feeding all along. The one who shapes his mind shines beyond limitation. Abrohwari, every limit begins in the mind. Every breakthrough does too. The difference between an ordinary life and an extraordinary one is not strength, not talent, not luck. It's the ability to shape the mind into a weapon of purpose. When your mind is trained, nothing can trap you. When your mind is undisciplined, everything can. The one who learns to control thought, direction, and belief stands above circumstance and turns obstacles into stepping stones. Hebrew, your mind is the architect of your destiny. It builds your reality piece by piece, choice by choice, belief by belief. The weak allow the world to design their thoughts. The strong design their own. You can't shine beyond limits if you think within them. You must train your mind to see possibilities where others see walls, to see growth where others see pain, to see power where others see pressure. The one who shapes his mind is not ruled by conditions. He creates them. Every day, the mind is being shaped by the environment, by people, by fear, by distraction. If you do not shape it consciously, it will be shaped for you. And what shapes you controls you. You are not born with the mindset of greatness. You forge it, discipline by discipline, thought by thought. To rise above limitation, you must become the sculptor of your own mentality. The undirected mind drifts. It reacts, it complains, it surrenders, it believes the lie, hat. This is how it's always been, and this is all I can do. But the shaped mind, the mind that has been disciplined, refined, and fortified, rejects limits. It doesn't wait for opportunity, it creates it. It doesn't ask for permission, it acts. It doesn't follow emotion, it follows purpose. The mind you shape today determines the life you live tomorrow. If you shape it with strength, your life reflects power. If you shape it with fear, your life reflects struggle. Your external world is a mirror of your internal structure. Change your mental design and you change your results. That is why the first battle of every winner begins within, not against others, but against their own thoughts. You can't live beyond limits with a mind that clings to them. You can't think small and live big. You can't speak weakness and walk in power. Every transformation begins the moment you command your mind to align with your purpose. The mind is the most obedient servant when mastered, and the most dangerous master when ignored. A. Brooke. Shaping your mind means training it to obey your goals, not your moods. It means building mental muscle that refuses to yield to doubt. It means programming your inner dialogue to empower, not discourage. It's not something you do once. It's something you do every day, every hour, every thought. Because the untrained mind constantly seeks comfort, and comfort is the cage of growth. When you shape your mind, you change your energy. When you change your energy, you change your world. The mind emits power. It influences how you walk, talk, and decide. The person who shapes their mind radiates confidence without saying a word. They attract respect, opportunity, and results because their presence speaks one message. This person knows where they're going. There are no real limits in life, only mental barriers disguised as facts. The person who shapes his mind understands this and tears those illusions apart. He doesn't wait for motivation, he creates it. Clarity. He doesn't look for strength. He builds it through discipline. He doesn't depend on luck. He depends on self-mastery. That's how he shines beyond limitation, not because life became easier, but because his mind became stronger. Every great achievement started with one person who decided to think differently. They refused to believe the rules that held others back. They refused to surrender to the idea of impossible. Their mind was trained to focus on vision, not restriction. That's why the world remembers them. The world bends to the ones who master their mental direction. You cannot conquer the world until you first conquer your own thinking. The mind that is filled with fear cannot hold faith. The mind that is filled with doubt cannot hold direction. To shape your mind is to empty it of weakness and fill it with certainty. That is the real work. Not just changing habits, but changing thought patterns. Not just chasing goals, but transforming identity. When the mind is shaped with clarity, limitations collapse. What once seemed too far becomes reachable. What once seemed heavy becomes light, because the strongest force in existence is a trained, disciplined, focused mind that knows what it wants and refuses to be denied. Ebrook. Shaping your mind is not about pretending everything is easy. It's about conditioning yourself to endure, adapt, and overcome. The shaped mind doesn't panic under pressure. It thrives there. It doesn't shrink when it's tired. It finds fuel in exhaustion. It doesn't complain about the climb. It sees it as proof of growth. That's what separates the ordinary from the unstoppable. The mind is the engine, life is the vehicle. If the engine is powerful, no terrain is impossible. But if the engine is weak, even smooth roads feel hard. Strengthen the engine, your thoughts, your focus, your self-command, and every external challenge becomes manageable. That's how the one who shapes his mind shines, because no darkness can dim a light that burns from within. You must decide what kind of mind you will shape, one ruled by fear or one ruled by faith, one that submits to limitation or one that defies it. Your life will follow whichever you choose. Every great transformation begins with this silent declaration: my mind belongs to me, my thoughts serve my purpose. Hebrew, shape your mind through repetition. Shape it through silence. Shape it through struggle. Each moment you push through doubt, you strengthen your mental armor. Each time you choose discipline over distraction, you sharpen your edge. Each time you refuse to quit, you carve your greatness deeper into your identity. The one who shapes his mind shines beyond limitation because he no longer waits for light. He becomes the light. He doesn't need the world to change. He changes how he sees the world. He doesn't wait for opportunity. He creates it. He doesn't need approval. He moves from conviction. Hebrew, shape your mind and the impossible become. Es inevitable. Shape your mind and limitation becomes illusion. Shape your mind and your life will shine with the same power you built within. The one who shapes his mind shines beyond limitation, because while others live by excuses, he lives by design. And when the mind is shaped, destiny bows. In the end, everything returns to the mind. Every victory, every defeat, every limit you've ever faced began there. The mind is the battlefield where success is won or lost long before it appears in reality. When you shape your mind, you shape your future. When you direct your thoughts, you direct your destiny. No one rises higher than the quality of their thinking. No one shines brighter than the strength of their belief. The difference between those who achieve and those who don't is not luck, talent, or timing. It's discipline of thought. The winners master their inner dialogue. They train their minds to think power when weakness whispers. They respond to doubt with decision, to fear with focus, to failure with fire. They are not controlled by emotion. They are guided by vision. They don't live reacting to circumstances. They create them. Ibrahu. You cannot wait for confidence to arrive, you must build it. You cannot wait for clarity, you must command it. The world will always try to shape your mind for you, with fear, with distraction, with limitation. But your duty, your power, your responsibility is to shape it yourself. Because once you do, the noise fades, the confusion clears, and your path becomes undeniable. So let this truth become your law. Your outer world will always rise to meet the power of your inner one. Feed your mind strength, direct it with purpose. Discipline it with consistency. Believe until doubt has no voice left to speak, because the one who shapes his mind cannot be broken. He can only be refined. When your mind burns with clarity and conviction, the world bends to your will. You will no longer chase light. You will be the light. That is how who shine beyond limitation. That is how you command destiny. That is how you live, not as a passenger, but as the pilot of your own purpose. Shape your mind, and your life will shine with the same power that lives within you.